Anyone have a piece of paper or napkin?
Here.
I'm very sorry. I want to put my gum out. Did you have notes?
And what's the main camera right here?
That's the top one.
Are we on? Wait, are we on? Are we on?
Yeah.
We're on!
Yes.
So, first and foremost, thank you all for joining us. Sorry it took 13 minutes. This is our first one.
I think that's
Lucky
great.
13.
Yes, lucky 13. I mean, Jeff rolled in 2 seconds before we started.
Yeah.
I had no idea we were even going live.
What did you think we
What?
were doing here?
I don't know how to open that Google document, and I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam, just before we get started, tell everyone what you were just telling me about being a little vulnerable
About what?
feeling technologically.
Okay, I'm inept. I'm technologically inept. So Jeff clearly is too because he can't open up Google Docs. I have a new job over at 9 News. And we do everything.
Everybody
on,
watch it 3.
Thank you.
You're
we
welcome.
do everything on Teams, which is a Microsoft app.
Which I never even heard
Never
of.
heard of it. Everyone I know is
heard
on
of
it, but I've
Teams.
never
I think
used
it's
it.
my girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm used to Zoom, so there's a little bit of a learning curve. We'll get to all that.
And
But
Erica Cobb is currently in New York.
We
That's why
love you,
she's not
Erica.
here.
We
right.
miss you,
so
Erica.
We got to mention that.
And also, I'm deciding her fate if she's gonna keep going with us. So
Cool.
I'll let you know, Cobb.
you know Erica's watching. We'll get a
I know.
FaceTime
I'm
for
in
her
so much
very
trouble.
shortly.
It's true. She's a Black in Back, or Back in Black, and it's with the Goldman Sachs, a million Black entrepreneurs. And by the way, the other day they opened the New York Stock
You're
Exchange by
lying.
ringing the bell.
Who did? Erica did?
The Black women in business, and they were all at the Wall Street Journal. The New York Stock Exchange, and they were all ringing bells.
Wait, Erica was ringing the
Yeah,
bell?
well, they were watching virtually, them all doing ringing the
Whoa.
bell. So it was really
Oh my
exciting.
gosh,
Yeah.
that's something that you want to do one day.
I've always wanted to ring the
I
bell.
know.
Oh my God,
But
to
we gotta
open the
blow
stock
this-
exchange?
This
Yeah.
podcast, videocast.
Yeah,
up.
we do.
Yes.
We need to ring the bell for Daytime Talk After Dark. So first and foremost, thank you everybody for watching. This will be baked in, meaning I don't even know what that term means. I'm just regurgitating.
I just want Sam to just throw out one technological term every day. It's gonna be-
It'll be baked in for podcasts. Jeff and Al know more about the podcast world than me. But today, we just want to feel this out. We definitely want to welcome all of the viewers and the listeners' feedback. But what we were thinking is we're all going to chime in with stories that we caught our eye today. And we're going to do what we do on DBL. But we're also going to, we have room to be ourselves and pivot and listen to what you guys want. So please make sure that you provide feedback. In fact, if anybody asks certain questions, will you guys let us know? Awesome.
Is anyone watching?
Yeah, are there
anyone
people in
watching?
here?
What
No?
if they said no?
Yeah, 125.
Yay! Okay.
Cheers. Okay. Now this is a hard shift. But we're used to these shifts because we do this at DB all the time. But today's 9/11. So, this just happened to be our launch day. But before we kick off our YouTube channel podcast, we just want to, of course, remember. Never forget. I mean, do you remember exactly where you were on 9/11?
Yeah, I was in Michigan, and University of Michigan as a sophomore, and I don't know if you guys remember, but my parents live close to the Pentagon.
Yeah.
We knew it had hit the Pentagon. I was woken up by someone telling me the Pentagon had been hit, and I called my mom, and she's like, stop joking, stop joking. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but there was that like mysterious fourth plane
Right.
that kept being missing, and they're like, there's still a plane in the air, there's still a plane in the air. So my dad went into like hiding in his office building. It was all on lockdown, and I don't know if you've ever been to the Pentagon, but you go over Arlington Cemetery directly as the plane
Chills.
goes over.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the memorial of those that have died for our country, and then it goes right into it. And the Pentagon is 5 layers deep, and the plane went through all 5 layers. So it's one of the most protected places in all of the world, and that was the point, to terrorize us at our most strong, at the strongest part they could get there. So it was just a mess, and it changed DC, it changed the world, and I just think of the victims, and I think
know.
of the people who climbed, and I think of the dogs, and I
Right.
think of the firefighters and the people on the plane that knew. That's what I think about.
I know.
That's what I think about.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you remember?
Yeah, I was
Where
in
were
my
you?
parents' basement.
How old were you?
I forgot. I don't know if I went to LA. So 2000, I might not even been
2001.
to LA. Yeah, 2001.
Okay.
I didn't even go to LA yet. So I was in my parents' basement, but my dad was working in New York at the time. So he'd commute out Monday. He'd leave Monday morning early and then fly back Thursday. What a G, by the way, because I talked
I
about that on
know.
my
When,
podcast.
when you think about what they were doing now, you're like, oh, Dad just flies back and forth, and you realize, like, oh, that was killing him.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of like in that position
Yep.
now, so it didn't like dawn on me till recently, like what he did. But anyways, so I was really nervous watching, the broadcast like everybody else, and I was like, "Where's Dad?" And
Oh
he
my
kept calling,
gosh.
and he was uptown, and the planes were downtown,
Correct.
or vice versa.
They were way
whichever one.
downtown,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So,
But there was a moment where you thought,
oh yeah. Because no one knew what was
No one
happening.
knew. And
I
you couldn't
thought
get
the whole
through.
city was going to blow up, and then there was threats on the Sears Tower at the time in downtown Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
So I mean, it was just probably the most memorable, experience.
Yep.
If you lived through JFK, I think that might be one.
Right.
But for our generation, I think it's
For
9/11.
sure.
And at that point, it was the
Absolutely.
most documented event in history because everyone had their cameras out. No one had cameras back in the day. So
Right,
historically,
no one had cameras for Pearl Harbor.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
historically,
yeah.
everyone caught the moment. I mean, we remember that shot of it going in. No one had that before. So it was the most recorded, documented event in history.
And you know what? Quickly.
No, please.
Well, quickly, like
Yeah.
we're
I
on
know,
air.
we're
taking
not-
a
we're not being
commercial.
wrapped.
Just
Yeah,
talk.
that's right. That's right. I'm still getting the swing of things here. But how our country was right after that happened, and how unified
Yep.
we were, and how helpful everybody was. I just hope we see a place
too.
like that again, because we are the complete opposite. I feel like today.
Right.
I just wanted to put that in
yeah,
there.
we all had each
Yeah.
other's
Yeah.
backs for sure.
Well, I think it's a natural human emotion when no one knows. If you think about any organism, any mammal, when it's scared, they huddle up and kind of figure out what to
You're
do
right.
next. And we really did that as a country. And I mean, if you think about how the world was before, I remember as you were talking, Jeff, I was thinking about my dad and how he used to say, you don't leave for the airport until it's about an hour before your flight. Like, he would leave with an hour to go because you could just walk up to
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
gate.
anyone could.
And it was almost like our country was almost like the Wild West
Mm-hmm.
in a way where like the things that people did when we were still technically adults or young adults, I don't think my kids would even believe or even comprehend. I think 9/11 was the start of really the new wing of kind of above ground conspiracy.
Right.
Because I remember 9/11 was that documentary Loose Change or whatever. And that spawned, really, I feel like that was, no pun intended, ground zero for then flat earthers.
Right.
And then, whatever, deniers, masks, all these kinds of people kind of gelled from that situation. And I never thought for a second, because people didn't talk the way they did pre 9/11, where there was like a group of people that were about to sit down and talk about whether masks worked.
Right.
Like,
But
that
that was
not a
also like the
discussion
beginning of the
anymore.
internet though too.
Right.
So it all converged together. You're right.
And people didn't know how to use the internet as
Right.
well back then. People were still using LimeWire and trying to steal movies, and it was the internet was just kind of this thing. Maybe you download some directions, but now you could make the argument that the internet runs 60% of American global citizens' lives in terms of what you do for that day, how you communicate with people you love with, how you communicate with people you hate, and also your public persona is not just like, oh, I know this guy Jeff, I'll send him over to your house. He does the best plumbing in the neighborhood. He'll take care of you. Now it's like, go to his LinkedIn.
I know.
Look at his reviews. Before they even meet you, they've decided who
Right.
you are.
Right.
And and we'll talk all about that, but it was really a changing day, not only for the fear, but also like how certain factions realized that fear can be used to galvanize people,
galvanize and
to
divide.
get them to do what you want.
Yep.
What do you think? Terrorist is the beginning of it. Terror.
Yeah.
They knew it. They knew it. They put terror in our life by hitting
She's right.
something that we all go on airplanes. We all
She's
do
right.
it.
She's
Now
right.
it's a weapon. That's a
She's
terror.
right. She's right.
Good point.
No, she's right. Some things never change. Were
See,
you
usually when
proud?
we're
We
usually
just
when
sit next to each other.
yeah, first of all, it's freezing in here.
I'm very
Look
hot.
how we're all, and we naturally have our, hold on. we naturally have our seating.
No.
I'm on the left.
That's very true.
Yeah, I should be over there because
true.
I'm not sitting on here when there's 3 people.
Fine, no one wants you
rearranging.
there. No one
Yeah,
wants you.
Tori's moving over
Okay,
here.
Tori can move.
I do like the couch rather than
Wait.
all chairs. Like we're about to
I
have a
want the
Sunday
couch.
forum.
I
Okay,
just worry about
hold
my
up.
pooch.
And if you're looking at my body language,
That's what I'm
it's because
worried
it's freezing.
It's
I'm
not,
like,
it's not
cold.
very hot.
You guys
It's
should
not
have
cold.
your.
I
so
feel it feels
hot.
good.
Yeah, dude. What are you gonna have a
Wait.
pipe after
I
this?
look. I need a fireplace and for all y'all to get gone and do the show that we all really want. Alan, what if it was like our first show? No one but just me in front of a fireplace, not saying
Like
a word.
ladies' man.
Yeah.
You just hear the crackle. That'd be, I'd
Yeah.
like that on my TV.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I use
you
that
sitting
too.
by the fire, smoking a pipe, and hear
Oh
the
my
crackle.
God.
You should hear a
Yes.
little bubble pipe. Brrr.
And no one understands. I guess people have watched the show not understand. Jeff and I are the same person. And as soon as Thanksgiving hits, that fireplace channel comes on,
Yeah,
and it
it's
stays
a lot.
on for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah.
stays on.
Cozy.
Yeah. I
Well,
love
you heat your house to like
It's so hot in our
84.
house.
I'm
it's
not
so
lying.
hot.
It's
Oh,
a
no.
problem.
It's
Yeah.
too hot.
It's
It's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
We
I
can
can't
get into
eat-
different things, but they did that on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's a black
Did
thing
they
versus
talk
a
about
white
that?
thing.
It is
yeah.
so-
about the
It's
temperature.
cultural.
Yeah, it was so
It
funny because
absolutely
I
is.
didn't know.
It absolutely is
Yeah.
because I had 2 scientific control groups. I had a black dad and a white stepdad, and I remember my mom's house like it was like where Rocky beat up the beef, you know, where he was training.
Yes.
Freezing. And my dad would just be.
Oh, your mom was probably going through menopause.
No, it was
Yes.
just.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, she
you're
was,
absolutely
Al.
right. She was hot flashing like
Dude.
crazy.
I don't think
Yes,
this
she-
has to do with my mom. You don't think that she was having? You think she was having hot flashes, and that's why it was cold?
No,
Yes.
I think it's a black versus white thing.
It
I
is.
also think his mom was in menopause.
I agree with
I
you.
1,000%.
Well, what was my dad in then? Because the house was hot as
That's
hate.
the black thing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know what that is culturally, but it was.
It's
Anybody
funny.
that
It's funny.
that's my age in their mid to late 40s that has an older relative, like you remember, just the house would be like you would open
grandma
the
had it
door
too.
and just I think as they were cooking all the
Yeah.
time, the kitchen was
It's
just
also an Ohio thing, I
hot.
feel like. Michigan, Ohio,
No, I think when you're
Illinois.
older too.
Yeah, grandma,
Yeah.
grandpa,
Maybe
parent. It was
that's
at
it.
85.
Yeah.
Bayou, it was like orchids lived in there. It was like I was like
Michael Dean's house.
yeah, right. I mean, it was thick with
Well,
humidity in my
here's the
grandparents'
question:
house.
when do you think your house is going to or will it? We are a different generation than our grandparents because we were talking about the differences in parents and grandparents, but like everybody's house that I went to, white, black, Hispanic, their grandmother's house full of knickknacks.
Yeah.
Full of no
Tchotchkes.
shade,
Yeah,
tchotchkes.
tchotchkes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Just like a
I'm
photo
turning
and
into
then
that.
a
I
shot
am
glass
too.
from Acapulco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem
and
with that, though.
grandfather
Yeah.
clock and
Yeah.
just random
Why do they
shit
all have
everywhere.
grandfather clocks? What is that?
Well, that's because
They were
you
grandfathers.
needed. I think you needed one place to know exactly what time it was besides the bank. Because I remember my grandmother calling and getting the exact time.
Yeah. Why do you
Yeah,
think
you
people
could
live near?
call and
Yeah.
get the
People used to
time.
live near a church tower because the bell would ring the time and you could tell the time.
Didn't we used to call something for the time?
Yes.
What did we call?
Like 1-800-444.
We called something for the
time.
You
time.
just started making that up.
No, I think that's right.
No, I used to call something
Bell
for the time.
tower.
Remember
Yeah.
Was this the
411?
1800s?
Yeah, but
For
that
the
was
info?
yeah.
I know, but there was something for the time. We
What
have.
would you call 411
Wait,
for?
we're
Okay,
getting
sorry,
off.
sorry,
At
sorry.
first, we just gotta. You know me. I
a
just
good
want to
question.
Yep.
end our 9/11 segment
Oh,
by
yeah.
just saying, you know, our
Black
thoughts.
people's houses are hot.
By saying our
That
thoughts
was
and
like
prayers.
Have to remember. Let's
but
remember.
yeah, today
Let's
is a
never
day.
forget.
Things
Yeah.
never change.
No,
Yeah.
let's
Things
not
never
make jokes
change.
about that.
But-
But finish your story, Sammy.
Oh no! So I was at UCLA at the time, my freshman year or sophomore year, and because I'm a year older than you, right? So it
Yeah.
must have been my sophomore year, and I was babysitting a little kid at the time, and I was already at his house. Already dropped him off at school, and then I remember listening to Steve Harvey.
Nuh-uh.
He had our local
Wow.
radio station there. I'm sure it was syndicated. It's Steve Harvey, but that's what I was listening to, and I remember
Steve
him.
Harvey told you about 9/11?
Yeah, and then I remember going home and being really worried about Christian. That's the kid I was babysitting at the time because his mom was in New York.
Oh my
so I was
gosh.
really nervous for him. And then
Oh
I
my
ended up
gosh.
turning around, going back to his school, getting him, and then connecting with his mom. And I was just more concerned about him. But I just remember watching the footage
Yeah.
of the first plane and then the second plane. And I just, at that point, even though I was only like 20 years old, was concerned about
Yeah.
this at the time. I think he was a third grader.
Oh my
And his
gosh.
mom was in New York City.
Oh my
And she's a
gosh.
single mom. So I was like, like, oh my gosh, what is Christian thinking?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but thoughts and prayers to I can't imagine how many families are mourning today. So we are thinking of you, and we will
Absolutely.
never forget. Okay, so who wants to kick off our stories?
Al wants to start with something sad, but I think with something we can look into.
Well,
Oh,
it's
look at
sad.
Tori with her computer. I
I
like
know.
this.
Well, she just hit
I
some
like
buttons.
it.
It's
Yeah.
not even on. To be honest with you.
Are you serious?
It's definitely on, you
It's not
jerk.
on. You have to log in.
I just logged in.
Now you did, but it wasn't before.
And by the way, it's a password that you use your finger for.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, fingerprint.
Oh,
password.
whoa.
We've been
that's
using
high
those
tech.
for 12 years.
I never knew that. Do we have
Like,
any
some
like
people's
comments
cars
or
open
anything?
with
Any
that.
comments?
Has anyone written?
What are people saying?
We're up to 283 watches.
Yay! We miss you guys.
we should kind of, I know it's only
Can
been
you
the
sign
third
on to
day.
get
Can
You
I
too?
sign on to here and I
Yes.
should look?
And then she can, right?
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good
Read
idea.
comments. Is that what you were gonna say?
That's exactly what
Should she
it is.
put her
Was it
twisted
really?
tea down?
No, I was
first?
gonna say we should kind of talk about what we've been up to, like
Yes.
catch people up that what you're
Before
doing.
we get into stories,
what's going
yes,
on.
and
Yeah.
how we've been feeling.
And Tori shouldn't give any opinions, just read comments.
So Tori, as you're getting the YouTube
Factoid
on,
girl is
Factoid
over.
Tori.
It's
Yeah.
over.
as you're getting the YouTube up,
Yes, I'm getting. Can someone
Jeff?
just email me the YouTube
So that
link?
means she's not doing it.
I don't have the
you-
YouTube link.
YouTube and then
daytime talk
after dark.
Don't talk to me like that.
But what else would it be?
Yeah, what do you
'Cause she's
ESPN?
gonna
talk
do
about
that.
technology?
Yeah.
she's gonna
I'm
do
on
that.
it. I'm here.
Oh yay! Okay, she's
Okay.
gonna do that. She's monitoring. So it's been
I see you guys.
what, only like 3 days, but it feels like forever. I mean,
Yeah.
I've missed you guys. Tell me what you've been doing. Tell me. I mean, I just saw you on Monday, but tell me everything.
Well, yeah. So Sam has a new show that took our time slot.
Oh,
What? I just said a homo.
I know. I just don't want the viewers to be like, what?
No, they
I
know.
needed
So
a
you can
job.
continue
Yeah,
watching.
I
And
needed a
was gonna
job.
say,
Yeah.
I was
And
on
she
there.
pushed us out. Yes.
No, that is absolutely
I'm just
not
kidding.
true.
And Sam, we're kidding.
I know,
Please, Sam
I
is
know.
our family. We're
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a new show. They needed another
Careful.
moderator, host, and I would pick Sam.
Well,
She's
no,
amazing.
this
You're
is-
really good.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But the real deal is, we were a nationally syndicated show.
Right.
Right? Daily Bus Live is a nationally syndicated show. I'm doing a local show. So when the parent company, who we are forever grateful to, when the parent company did not have our budget in their budget anymore, Daily Bus Live got sunsetted. That's the term they used. And
We don't have to keep saying like
Okay,
how
got
grateful we
canceled.
are. You know what I
Got
mean? Yeah, we got
canceled.
canceled,
But-
and it didn't feel good.
no,
Let's
it
be
didn't
honest.
feel good.
Felt
But
We're not on
it felt
they have-
ouchy.
We're not there anymore.
But I just want people to know, I didn't, like the show I'm on now didn't take the national. It's a
Right,
much
right.
lower budget, local. It's very proud to be on 9 News. Don't get me wrong, but that's the reason why.
Yeah, would it be kind of cool to see, like, if you are DBL fans, obviously you're tuned in here. If you're like in Ohio, what is playing in that time slot?
Oh, I
I'm
wanna
curious.
know.
So
Somebody
if you
said like
guys,
an
Oh,
old
someone said
Dateline.
Dateline.
Somebody said
someone
Dateline.
said
Yeah.
a judge. Someone said my first 48 was playing.
because it's cheap.
Yeah, and it's
it's
That's
returns,
exactly right.
the reruns.
That's exactly
The
right.
reruns.
So, but Jeff, go ahead. So you
Nothing.
came on Monday though.
Came on Monday, which was awesome.
Jeff, so they're all going to be coming on the 9 News show. Everybody loves the DBL team. Jeff came on and was like the everyman. We did a wife-husband segment. It was so good. You were so good. So good.
It was fun, but I liked kind of I love production, you know,
Yeah.
like that's why I got into the biz. So just stepping back, and you guys have a lot of moving pieces on a
lot.
skeleton crew.
A
you know,
skeleton crew. There is no
compared to
crew. I
DBL.
mean, they're
Right.
inside the control room.
That
Oh,
woman
really?
who's
Yeah.
in the switcher, and then
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's pulling the camera, and then she's back on the switcher, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's no
And-
camera operators.
That's
Yeah.
the first thing
Are they
you
on
notice
robots?
when
Are
you
they
do,
robots?
When you
Are
do
they
the
moving on
news.
their own?
They're just, I'm sure someone's controlling them in the control room. But yeah, there's
Right.
nobody in that room. It was like
Wow.
Jeff was just watching.
Yeah, so it was cool. It's very
Yeah.
cool what you guys did with the limited amount
Yeah.
of.
They do a lot there.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
super grateful.
And we're happy for you.
Thank
like,
you.
truly, I'm
Thank
really
you.
happy for you, and I'm
Thank you.
proud of you. A lot of times I would just look at Sam, I'd be like, she's so professional.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I
was like,
totally
I just
agree.
be looking at her like
Totally
she's so
agree.
good at her
I
job.
agree.
Yeah, you're great. For me, I love you too, girl.
I didn't really finish what I was doing.
Oh, yeah, keep going.
Sam just.
I heard you play golf yesterday.
I played golf with Chris, one of our
How'd you
executive
do?
producers.
Our executive producer.
He's really good, but I golf good for me. And then I started a new project.
What?
Like in my bathroom
Oh,
to
yeah, are you
keep
done?
myself busy. Almost. It's taking longer than I thought.
What is it?
but,
What are you painting or
I'm
what?
putting like wood slats, so I strip like 1-inch things, like 12 of them, but then I decide to go across the ceiling. But it just keeps me busy. But now the kids are in football, both of them, so
you
it's Monday,
coaching?
Wednesday, Friday. No.
Okay.
And then games on Saturday. And then we got our own podcast.
I know.
Together
Together Mess.
Yeah.
It's
Together
so
Mess,
good.
everyone.
So
It's
now-
doing really well, though. Let's talk about how
it's
well
going
Together
good.
Mess is doing.
Yeah,
it's
it's
doing
going.
good.
It's going good. But yeah, it's weird not being on a schedule because I'm a
Yes.
schedule guy, you know. So I kind of feel like I'm all over the place. People are like, well, now you're free. Let's go golf all the time. I'm like, dude, I have a million things to do.
Right.
Like, and then I'm trying to audition and put those out
Yeah.
and send out my resume.
What's your heart
no
feel like?
luck. What do you mean, my
Like
heart?
I've woke up every morning since Friday with like a really heavy heart. As much as I'm so grateful for this new venture, like I've woken up every morning being like, I don't get to be with my family. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
the
feel
honest to
you.
God truth.
I feel
I'm
it.
kind of on the other side of it.
How do I get to the other side?
I don't know. I just keep doing motivation and things
Yep.
like that. And even though I have not even one sniff of an audition or job offer,
Yeah.
I just feel like, I've turned the page kind of, sadly.
proud of you.
But it's
Yep.
like,
You
I
have
got to
to.
move forward.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it.
No, I mean, Jeff, you hit it on the head, and it's like almost the same advice you would give somebody that had a divorce.
Yeah.
And they're like,
7 years.
But today was
You're right.
the day that he took me out for the. And you're like, well, you got to get past that.
Yeah.
And that's it, Sam. I mean, emotionally, I feel you. I mean, I'm more dead inside.
Yeah, no, you're
But-
fully dead inside.
But yeah, but it helps in
Yeah,
a
it
way
does.
because it helps you just accept, and which I'm sure is something that Buddha tells you to do. It's just like the idea of like, is that who it is?
Pembroke?
Pemma?
Pembroke.
Pembroke. Pembroke is the British man that lied to us. Remember? Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest.
Who is Pembroke?
Remember Thomas Arthur Mills, the
No.
senior, the British guy that we went and interviewed for the royal wedding on DBL, and he turned out to be Tommy Muscatello from Brooklyn.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. He-
Please tell everybody what that was really quick.
Yeah, but he-
I did.
passed
He
away.
passed away.
Okay, but you can say what happened.
He lied, unfortunately, to a lot of people and a lot of venues coming in for the royal wedding that he was a royal expert, and we all took him up on it. Everyone from like Wall Street
remember
Journal,
What are you doing?
NBC, all that.
I just don't want to be inappropriate.
It
And
was
then
his
he-
life.
and
This
then
is like, we cannot
Who
change
cares about this guy? For real. We're not on TV anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Well, he did anyway.
No,
he
that's
did.
sad. What happened?
Okay,
People died.
he
Oh,
passed
well,
away.
sorry, buddy. I don't know who he is.
Tommy Muscatello.
She's
we-
trying to show reference to this fraudster.
Yeah.
He was a con, and he conned us. And then when I
You kind
interviewed,
of conned the audience saying you were going to
Yeah.
the royal wedding and
You
you weren't
went
even
to a
close.
bar.
Yes.
You went to a pub.
You conned
Can I be
Tanya out
honest?
of a couple $1,000 they
dude,
wasted.
I went to the pub to watch it, and the pub didn't have TVs. I'm like, what are we doing here? So then we went to go to another pub down the
So
street.
you just went away for a week
got
to
drunk.
just party.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
the White Horse is a great pub if you guys ever go in Soho. I had the best time.
I will say this. There's
The White Horse.
There's a point, definitely, maybe not Sam because she's too professional, but there's been a point, and I would bet my children's lives, the three of us for sure, maybe Sam, where you just go, you've been doing a project and you're like, I am way too drunk to be on camera right now.
No, that has never happened to me.
Oh my God.
No.
I remember I was doing a show. I used to do this
By
show.
the way, this is sparkling
Yeah.
water. I'm not drinking alcohol.
Yeah, most people have to confess that when it's not alcohol. But I was
Is
doing a
this
show.
alcohol?
Yeah,
It's
yours
twisted.
is. Yours is.
How long is this show?
An hour.
Oh,
Where
okay.
are we right now?
I don't know.
Oh
We're
my
at-
gosh, we only have 25
Yeah.
minutes left. Okay,
Read some
so
stories.
we gotta get to some
Okay.
stories, or do we not?
No, we should.
What do the
We should get
viewers
to.
want? What do the viewers want?
They want to talk to you mostly. it seems like.
What else do they want to know? Well, first of all, we got to hear more about Tori now before we get to some stories. So you went to Vail.
I did. I went to Vail.
Did you get any stand-up in?
No, shout out to a good friend. A good friend of my girlfriend's had a place that they weren't using and gave it to us for a few days, and she knew that
Whoa.
it was our day. It was she said something really sweet to me. She was like, I don't know if I can use her name. I'll get her permission. Say it later. But she was just like, you need to not be here on Monday. And I thought that was I was like, man.
She had the
yeah,
foresight.
and I just thought that was really so. Shout out to K&D. You know I love y'all.
You said you weren't going to use
Yeah, what's
I
up?
said
You
that's
changed
their
your mind
that's
on
their
that pretty
that's
quick.
their
Did you just hear from
Yeah,
them?
but
or
you
something?
shouldn't. You
Jesus.
said you weren't
I
going
would have somebody gonna track down somebody named K&D. And so,
Candy Johnson and Vail. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank
and-
you, Candy.
and
Kelly
so-
and Darren.
so like, just went to
just
Thank
Vail
you.
and
I just
stayed-
made that joke.
No one heard you.
And then you repeated it.
Well, because no one heard you.
I wanna
Good
start
job, Tori.
calling-
You needed to repeat it.
Thank you.
Good
Yes.
job.
No one hurt you.
Joke stealer. Al heard it.
I did.
All right.
So anyway, just being in Vail and just I had this thought because it's off season, and it was basically empty. I don't know if there's an app, but I would love like some kind of travel service that told you where to go in the off season.
Oh,
'Cause
that's
I don't-
very easy to
Viator.
do.
I don't-
Viator does
No,
it.
Google.
Yeah, good.
I'm not gonna. No, I don't want to do it for
You
each
just-
place.
You Google what to do in Vail during fall.
What's
you
open
could
now?
Leaf, you could
no,
leaf peep.
because no.
Leaf peeping is
Yes, but
big.
then it's not off season. See, you just said big. I don't want to be there when it's big. I want to be there when there's it was like you could have shot a movie there. It was a ghost town.
Oh, wow.
A ghost town.
So
I
you
just-
liked it.
And I love that. I remember I did a show in Myrtle Beach one time. And it was very weird because I called the venue, the comedy club, and he was like, I was like, hey, this is Al Jackson. I'm here this weekend. He goes, your show Thursday is canceled. And I was like, all right. I go, why? He goes, no ticket sales. I was like, what? And he was like, oh, it's all season. There's nobody in town. I'm like, why did you book me?
Oh my
and so like
gosh.
the Thursday was canceled. The Friday maybe had 6 people, and the late show on Friday had like 9. I was like,
How
crazy idea.
embarrassing.
Maybe we combine and do one show.
Yeah,
And have 15.
right.
But yeah, I kind of, I kind of do like off season. So long story short, Vail is beautiful, and I do kind of like. I like the little solitude and not the standing in line on vacation.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
like you're hungry. It's like you own the city for 48 hours.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. So shout out.
Everyone's
Shout out.
saying that we're so good together. How could the company cancel this chemistry? And someone did see us, Al, in the commercial.
Oh, that commercial's everywhere.
That's the other thing in Vail. Me and Sarah were
Everywhere.
working out in the
They
gym.
do like a 1-800-LAW commercial together.
Yes, Sarah and I were working out in
Good
the gym,
job,
and I
guys.
just looked at the TV because it was on CNBC or some.
It's everywhere.
And it was just my dumb face on there, and I just turned to Sarah and I was just like, I have a really weird life. Like, it's just like the Black Forest Gump. Like I'm just wandering through my life
my
with like
God.
no plan.
No
But yeah,
plan.
so
Yeah,
That
so that's what we
commercial is
did.
like one of the most watched commercials. It's everywhere.
I know.
I'm proud of you too.
Yes.
So, Tor, what are you
I
doing?
have some things in the pot, in the fire, in the
yeah,
oven.
you do. You've got some balls in
I've
the
got
air.
some balls in the air. Some of them are going to explode. Some are going to go. I will let you all know when I should hear this week. And then in October, I have some more flights to go see.
Some more what?
A flight to see someone in New York about something.
What
So
are
we're
you
gonna
talking
see.
about?
What I know, it's
Yeah.
huge.
So we'll see. We don't know.
Whoa.
Nothing is
Yeah.
done. I'm simply trying
Yep.
Can
very
we start
hard.
a rule on this show that if you can't give one
Yes, she
effing detail,
can.
you can't
Well, she doesn't want
tease
people.
it.
No, she doesn't want people
Let's
to
just
think
say
No,
that
Sam, that was nothing. There was
She's-
like every
there's-
9th word.
there's a lot of
There's a
things
lot
happening.
of stuff happening
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
We don't know what any. We just know that in October you're taking
big
a flight
deal. It's a
to
big
see
deal.
someone.
And
No,
also
it's a big
Tron
deal.
Frazier says it must be local. I haven't seen it. The commercial is not local.
It's national.
It is national.
It might
It
even
is
be global.
everywhere.
I mean, the commercials everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Yeah.
So, also, people are asking me, what did you think of the debate? I think we should all just say very quickly how we felt.
Yeah, let's
if
just
you
go
watched.
off. Let's see what the viewers
Okay, they
want.
want to know debate talk. Okay, so very quickly, I think we can all agree it was a 10 out of 10 for me for Kamala. I thought starting with the handshake of her walking over and introducing herself.
It was the first time they've ever met.
Ever met
Really?
in their whole life.
Face to face.
Face to face. And she said her name so he would get it right, I think. He never, ever mentioned her name, the rest of it. But I will say this. I thought she started off a little shaky, little mouth noises,
Little
nervous.
Yep.
Which is
Do you know what
fine.
you're supposed to do for that?
No.
Because, do you know what to do?
Because I get dry
I
mouth.
get it,
You
too.
I get it.
You're either supposed to suck a lemon because
Who has a lemon?
well, you can.
What is this, the Amalfi
I
Coast?
You can't
No.
find a lemon slice
Yeah, but
in
what
your
if
life.
it's happening in
In
real time?
real
She's supposed to go
time.
off
An
backstage
orchard
and
or
suck
something?
on a lemon?
How did you like the debate, Tori?
And anywho, as soon as what I call it, the go fish. So as soon as she mentioned what was it, crowd size. She said people
know.
are leaving your rallies.
Yes.
And he
She's trying to
starts
rattle him.
getting agitated. So the lips go in, the hunch over, and then she calls him weak. And we got another bait. And then she calls him a disgrace from the other thing. All this has been planned, and it was a giant game of go fish. And in the end, he couldn't contain himself. He took the bait, he went off, and he lost his way. And then the second thing I'll say is she knew how to play TV better than he did. She out-TV'd him. If you guys don't know, in Kennedy Nixon, their first debate in 1960, it was the first debate ever televised. And they said, do you guys want makeup? And Kennedy's like, no, that's not manly. Nixon's like, yeah, you're right. And then Kennedy went and did all of his makeup. And Nixon sweated through the whole thing, and Kennedy won overwhelmingly.
Got it.
She knew how to look light. She looked happier to be there.
He was, you know I'm not a Trump fan,
No.
but he was more poised than I think
He
in
tried.
2016.
You're absolutely right. And I
Even
said
though
that.
she baited him,
I
I
agree.
do think that for him, that took a lot of restraint.
That
I
was
think
my
so
I'll give
too.
I
him that.
noticed
I'll
that.
give him
Except
that.
as soon as the rallies hit,
Stop with the fishing.
you guys, I have a video coming out where I actually went fishing for the joke. I'm going to air it after this.
Super literal. Jeff, what did you think? Did you watch last night?
I did watch.
Good job.
I'm proud
Okay,
of us,
because
like, we
usually
watched.
you don't.
So-
No, I
Sorry,
know,
forced
but
me
it
to
was
watch.
It was
I
exciting to watch.
barbecuing.
No, I'm excited to hear what you think because you are a true independent, though.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, here, like I said, I was having a barbecue. I went golfing, so I was having a couple beers. That's why I watched it. And there was no football on. So I just had a couple beers and watched. But neither of them, like really, politics, I don't give a shit about. You could swear on here,
Can we
right?
swear?
Yeah.
Can we swear? in
Yeah,
here?
we could swear.
A
Somebody
leader,
got
is
some
that
mom
okay?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
All that I watch for the show. That's why we talk about on the show. What my concerns are right now is my property taxes going up in just everything, groceries in general. They didn't touch on that. Not once, not one question. And going back to Trump, he wasn't really, when he was answering questions, I'm like, what are you doing? Say this. Like,
Right.
why
He was
do you
weak. He
keep
was
going
weak.
back to like some other things like the biggest crowd? Answer the question.
He got
you know?
baited.
And so that I was getting frustrated with that because I don't know. And
You
then
wanna
they
hear
ju-
plans.
They exactly. Tell me your plans because my mortgages are going through the roof, and everything in my life. I got a Coke on the way here, and it was $3. I'm like,
Right.
what's happening over here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they didn't touch on any of that, which I think the American public really deserves an answer of why this is happening and will these prices go back down? And America's just in not a great place. So I was a little frustrated watching it in general.
I do
Yeah.
think she made a point about the first-time
Inflation and
house
all that, yeah.
ownership,
Yep.
25,000,
But who's going to
6,000.
pay for that?
The government, and it's
Right.
going to maybe go up in deficit, but according to her, Trump's ideas are going to triple the deficit. So I agree with price gouging. I thought we'd hear about bacon, eggs, those type of thing, which
Yeah,
everybody
just
wants.
everyday people.
Everybody wants. We didn't, but I do think she's going to go after, price gouging and junk fees, which has been.
They both should.
They both should, but that's a smart move to go
Right,
after.
right.
But yeah.
What do you think, Al?
You know,
What was the standout moment to you? Or one moment that pissed you off?
I think I'm
Did
a
you
lot-
watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was in Vail, and I was like, I don't want to watch
Stop
this.
saying veil. We
And-
get it. You're in
and-
veil.
But I mean, I was on vacation.
Weird
I've never taken, so I
flex.
was excited. Yeah, I was fishing. You know,
You don't have to laugh.
honestly, when we first turned it on, you know, what my girl said, she goes, Trump looks good.
He had
Yeah,
purple
he
hair,
does.
but
He
yeah.
looks strong for his
He did
age.
that thing where you stop trying to dye your hair when you're 80.
Yeah, but he went
And,
purple. It went
and
purple.
he looked kind of like Peter Parker's editor with the gray and the black mixed in. I thought when I turned it on, I was like, he looks ostensibly better than when he's got too much orange.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is presentation. I
Yeah.
was like, maybe he's gonna try and shift his narrative because he knows Kamala is a viable candidate to go up against. And I felt like for the first 10 minutes he had been coached well and he was sticking to his points.
And then what happened?
Honestly, I hate to bring in the
fishing lure?
bass fishermen over here, but when she made the comment about people are leaving,
That's it.
Yeah.
that really
That was
affected
it.
him.
Yeah.
And
That's when people were eating cats and dogs.
Right.
That was the
And-
next
oh,
statement.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
it was
Right,
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think the moderators did a good
they
job.
kept turning the mics back on.
I thought they
and
did a
I don't-
lovely job.
I thought
I
they
don't
did
know.
a
They
good
were
job.
pressing him a little
They
hard.
did press him more.
They weren't pressing her at
I
all.
agree with you, but he did get more airtime. She refused the 1-minute rebuttal, which was smart. He took it, and they did give him like way more airtime. But they did press him more. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
But
And
the
they
live
needed to
fact-
press both of them.
I agree.
I'm not
I agree.
saying-
But
yeah.
the live fact checking about you cannot kill a baby in this country
Yeah.
and the dogs are not being eaten was actually quite well done.
That was-
By David Muir.
Can
was,
we use that to segue into my story?
Yeah,
since we're only
please.
15
Yeah,
minutes left?
please.
Yeah.
It really. I think I sent a text to. I was on my Cleveland group thread, but I was like, Trump just referenced 2 false stories, and the first one.
Oh, the one in Aurora.
Yes, the one that was debunked. The first time I heard about the Venezuelan
Oh,
gangs
yeah, yeah.
was
yeah, tell us a
Right,
little bit
yes.
about that because
Yeah.
I
And
have
I
it
can
here.
chime in too because over at 9 News we've had like all the local police chief and like Kyle Clark is on that.
Right.
Really?
Like completely on, and he's been able to debunk all of it. But
Right.
go ahead.
And, and the first time that I heard about it, I was getting out of the shower, and my girl was like, my mom and somebody that she knows was on 3-way with her. and they were like, "What's up with this?" Because
Right.
and these aren't people that casually follow the news. These are people where CNN's on in their house for hours a day. They follow the news every single day. And I immediately, without looking at anything, without reading anything, I was like, "That's false." And it later was deemed to be true. And just to
Well,
walk
there's
you
context, yeah.
right, but to walk you through my thinking, whenever I saw a picture, it's like Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complex.
Okay,
Right.
this is in Aurora, just so we get the
This-
context.
yes.
Aurora, Colorado, which, by the way, has its own issues with their own police force,
Right.
with Elijah McClain and all
Right.
of that. So continue. Just wanna
But
get
just
that.
when this is my real thinking, I was like, okay, I just asked myself a series of questions. The first one is, what else do I know about gangs? Well, they don't want you to know where they are. They usually have hideouts. They don't want the cops to know where they are. So do they take over apartment complexes? Probably not. If they were to be taken down, would it be through somebody's peephole? Probably not. Is there a task force, and there was assigned to deal with this gang? Probably.
Right.
And none of the things that criminals do, which is stay under the radar and make money selling illegal contraband, coincides with being on the front page
Yeah,
of the
blatant.
news saying, "We've taken over this apartment complex. I'm the leader. I'm in 5F."
Right.
That doesn't it makes sense. And like your girl Judge Judy said, Sam, and I said it all the time on the show, if something doesn't make sense, it isn't true.
Right.
And this turned out not to be true.
Well, there is some context.
So
but
talk to us about it, Sam.
did you want to?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
it did turn out that this was a lot of smoke because and I'll get the exact name, CBZ Management which has had legal action for neglecting this property and has numerous code violations,
Right.
which this was kind of used as cover for
Oh.
that. So it's like, oh yeah, we're not taking this over, we're not cleaning up because the gangs have taken this over, so
Right.
it removes
Oh,
the
I see.
responsibility off
Right.
of you. And it really reminded me of that Target story. When I called it at the meeting, I was like, that's garbage that they're closing Targets because of shoplifting.
Right.
It's like, that's nonsense, and it turned out to be.
Well, I think so. The context that I've heard again just through the newsroom, and you know, 9 News is very good at fact checking. All they want to do is know the facts, and so there is an issue, you know, with gangs in every city, and in particular in Aurora, there has been some Venezuelan, I forget the name of the gang, you know, momentum there, but nothing like certain far right influencers have run with.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is when you look at, you know, X right now, it's been in the top of the algorithm. So it's very easily retweeted. It gets picked up by The Blaze. It gets picked up by this person. And then it turns into all of a sudden Aurora is being overrun by
Yeah, that's what I
Venezuelan
saw.
gangs. So an
Trump
apartment.
said that they took over the town in
The
a
town,
Fox in a
right.
Fox town
Last
hall
night he
meeting.
did.
Right.
He
Last
said
night
that
he
they're
did too.
taking over the town.
Right.
And I think, you know, we have to remind ourselves as constituents is, you know, and just people, even if you're a local, both can be true without the amplification, if that makes sense. So let me just rephrase that, because if you look at any city and if there's any gang violence, whether it's at an apartment complex or whether it's in, you know, a specific part of a neighborhood, that is more common. And I know that he was using it to bolster his immigration, you know, fear mongering. And, you know, immigration is something that really does need to be dealt with. It does. So I think it's really easy to be like, look at what's happening with immigration. Look what's happening with Venezuelan gang members. Look how it's taking over a town, and people to believe that.
Sure, there's
and then
no
go,
discernment.
oh no, what am I going to do? I need someone to save the day.
Right.
So that was his tactic. But according to the facts, per your point, there's some momentum, you know, at this one apartment complex, but it is nothing what it's been blown out to be by some far right influencers that have spread this completely over X particularly, and X has run with this.
And
In fact, some celebrities have actually gotten off X
Wow.
because they feel like the disinformation, specifically about Aurora, and then also like the Haitian migrants,
Eating
is just
cats and-
pure racism.
Which we heard from Trump, of course, of the eating cats and the dogs and the things. Which
Well,
was,
there's even context to that too. So according to, this was sent to me in a local Chamber of Commerce meeting, some of the local residents did, you know, again, this is hearsay, but one of the local residents did say that they saw somebody that was hungry, that they assumed to be a migrant, take a duck and eat a duck out of a pond. Now, that one eyewitness account, you have to vet it, right? Let's say that person is right. Again, that doesn't mean you can paint an entire group of Haitian migrants with a broad brush.
Right.
And then, so I just think we have to be really careful of this narrative.
It's called discernment.
When
That's
someone is
exactly right.
talking about, immigration status, yes, that's an issue.
But
And-
we should be eating more of those like geese on the golf course and stuff.
They're just,
No.
But like for like
There's so much poop.
for like
There's
human
so much
consumption,
poop.
like
For homeless,
people,
I agree with
like
you.
it's a
They
nuisance.
tried that. They tried
But
that
they
2 years ago, but
they poisoned everything.
They
that wasn't the way
poisoned
to
the
do
poor
it.
geese, and then the
But they
geese weren't
should.
able to be fed because they had poison in their
Oh, that's
flesh.
horrendous.
But it was a big. I forgot the
That
whole
is
story about
horrendous.
that. But yeah, that wasn't the right way to do it.
I do want to get this in because it's important. We did lose someone. James Earl Jones passed away. He was 93, and I wanted to ask everybody what their favorite James Earl Jones movie was. Of course, CNN, Mufasa, Field of Dreams. He was
Star Wars.
Star Wars. He also had a major stutter. I don't know if people knew that about him.
He did.
And it was always in Broadway, the Gin Game, and all that. But I wanted to know what people
Coming to
thought about.
America.
Yeah, you're right.
King Jaffe Jaffer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
So
Do you guys have a favorite James Earl Jones memory or
mine's Mufasa.
scene?
Mufasa. I love him as Mufasa.
Is it the scene when he's talking about the stars?
The whole time when I hear his voice, I see Mufasa and James Earl Jones,
I
but I also
know.
love all his movies. Darth Vader, come on.
I
Field
really
of Dreams.
I like Field
Coming
of
to
Dreams.
America.
Terrence Mann
Yeah.
when he's like, I heard the voice too, and I was like, isn't that neat?
That,
And
I
then
mean,
he walks into the corn stalks with Shoeless Joe and says
You know
goodbye.
he's an EGOT too.
Is he?
He is. I
really?
mean, he got an
Absolutely.
honorary Oscar, but technically
Yeah.
he
Is
is an
that
EGOT.
right?
Yep.
Sam,
Oh
he
my
has
God.
2 Emmys, a Golden Globe, 2 Tonys,
Yep.
a Grammy. He's got the National Medal of Arts Award and a Kennedy Center
And
Honors
an-
Award.
And
Good
an honorary
Lord.
Oscar.
What a career.
Yep.
I'm going to steal this from my girlfriend because
Okay.
I hadn't thought about it, but The Sandlot. Remember?
Wait, where is he in the Sandlot?
He was the scary guy
No,
across
he
the
wasn't.
fence.
No,
Yes, he
no,
was.
he was not.
That was
he
him.
is.
He was?
He's
That was
blind.
him.
I don't
Is he
think-
blind in it?
I don't
know
think
if
that's
he's blind, but
him.
remember that the whole plot of the movie
Everyone
is the ball
vote
going over
if
the
you think
I
fence.
think you're
that's
right.
him.
No, I think you're right. Sand.
When you're wrong,
He is right.
Okay,
He is
now
right.
look at
He's
me.
right. He's
Look,
right.
look in these
He had
eyes.
the dog. He had the
Yes.
dog.
And he is blind, so I can't look at you.
Yes,
in
and
the
I was
eye.
right.
The
She's
Beast,
right.
yes.
Beast,
You
and
were
he's
right.
blind.
Oh, I
What's
didn't
your
remember.
favorite?
I think we covered it.
What else are the viewers saying? 'Cause we only have
okay.
like.
We only have 5
This
minutes
is
left.
what
5
people say.
minutes.
This is. Oh, can we all try saying this is CNN the way he did? This is.
Oh, he's the CNN voice?
That's his voice.
I was wondering why you mentioned CNN.
That's his voice.
I
This
didn't know
is CNN.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Wow.
And Michael Douglas is. This is the news. What is he?
For what?
Some other thing. But
Oh.
yeah, he is.
What?
This is
I don't
CNN.
think so.
And his episode on Frasier, someone else. Oh, and Roots. He was amazing in
yeah.
Roots.
Yeah.
Yes. Did
Yeah.
you bring up Frasier?
He was in Frasier, a great episode of Frasier.
One
One episode?
Well, it was like a really good episode.
What
We
else
just
are
talked
people
about
saying?
Star Wars.
Wait, we got to catch up 5 minutes. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank
We got
you.
to catch up our viewers though on like our schedules and stuff because I want everybody to continue to tune in. So we're now going to not be on Wednesdays.
What are we juggling, picking up the kids? What if the kids?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly
so
right.
listen-
Yeah, but I mean, with the viewers, why do they? No.
So
Because we're honest.
Because we're going to be live.
No, but we
We got to switch time periods here.
didn't know
Yeah.
we were live. I
Yeah,
swear to
we're
God.
going to be.
That's
He didn't know
amazing.
You
we
didn't
were
know we
live.
were gonna
That's
be
why
live?
he
No.
rolled
I
in
think I
2
broke-
seconds before. But we
It
are.
took me an hour and 15 minutes to get
I
here.
know.
By the
You're,
way,
you're far like me. I
Yeah.
know. I know.
What
And
did
you
you
know how much
listen
we're getting
to?
paid for this?
Whoa!
He's right. But he's
Dude,
right.
it's 2.5 hours
This is-
round trip for
Yeah,
me.
I think we can be transparent.
get mad at the
No one's
audience.
being
Yeah, I am
paid
mad.
here.
You did.
I
You're on
want
your
you.
couch. I got to drive back and track
No
it.
one's
We
being
Technically, we're on
chose
the
to
couch.
do this.
No one's being paid. We're doing this specifically because we love each other
true.
and we love you guys, and we hope this grows into something
That's
where we
right.
can finally make an income.
That's
so
right.
That's
true. Also, he was in The Big Bang Theory.
Wait, we have to tell them our
over,
new
dude.
project. It's time. We have 3.5 minutes.
She just discovered the fingerprint.
I can't
and so
handle
she's
this.
really going
Okay,
crazy about.
so we are not going
That's
to
why
be
we give
live
Tori cards during
on
the radio
Wednesdays
show.
at 5 Mountain Time, 7 Eastern.
Maybe we could just post this.
No, I want them to know. So next Tuesday, you're going to meet us all here at the same time.
We're gonna have a kiki little
same
drinking.
place, right? But Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
Yeah, this coming Tuesday.
You said next Tuesday.
Oh, this coming Tuesday.
Wait,
This-
what do you mean?
It's
go-
this Tuesday.
How's it
Next
go?
Tuesday
We're
would be
going
2
up?
weeks.
What day is it?
On a
Wednesday?
Tuesday. Is that how it goes?
What?
The melody's wrong.
We're going up on a Tuesday.
What is that?
It's a song.
That's that singer. You don't,
Clearly.
His name was. He had a weird name. His name was. I
You know
love
the James Earl
Macadam.
Jones reference?
This
Yeah.
is
I don't know that
CNN
song.
on a Tuesday.
You don't remember that song? We going up
On a Tuesday.
You guys are repeating the same
okay.
phrase
Okay.
over and over
now
again.
3 minutes.
Okay,
So
stop with the countdown. Fucking that's all right.
hold on.
He was also
We
going
have
to
Other
Red
other
October.
business to. We have no.
Sorry.
We have other business to handle.
Okay.
Everybody, make sure you follow our Instagram and Facebook.
Daytime talk after
Thank
dark.
you.
I
They're
got
like,
the
how do you
sign.
think we're here?
I got the
they
sign
follow
made.
clearly.
I know,
was
but
my
we need to-
responsibility.
This is called. If Erica Cobb was here, she'd be ticked that
Yeah,
we weren't
you're
getting
right.
to these beats.
Oh, she's already watching.
I
She's
know.
mad.
So you're welcome,
She's
Erica.
mad,
So
yeah.
by the way, they're asking, is it Tuesday and Friday now?
Yes, so every Friday is going to be a bonus episode, and then Tuesday's going to be live. That's the only the live part.
Tuesday,
Right.
guys.
Yeah. Then we're going to be. This episode's going to be into a podcast. You can continue to listen to us, and then on Friday we will drop another podcast and YouTube on Friday.
So we're
Half hour,
doing
though.
another thing after this?
Yes.
Yeah, on Friday. Oh, yeah, I mean after this. But
Yeah.
listen, everyone, is it the same time? It sure is.
It is.
You don't have to worry about too
Yeah,
much.
don't worry about the
Just
time.
Tuesday. Just remember, not Wednesday.
And
don't
Friday.
boo. Tuesday.
Tuesdays
Friday.
and Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And should we have a new name for our viewers?
Yes.
Not DBL Nation,
Daytime
but
talk after dark.
Maybe
like the
we-
talkies.
Well, no, absolutely not. That sounds like
1930s, eh?
1930s.
Let's
Yeah,
go
it really
get the
does.
gimlet.
I will just say
Thank
that
you.
just for an example.
What do they say?
My podcast.
Tuesday's live awesome.
No, what do they
does
say
Ti-
about the name?
Have they thought of one?
Tuesday, everyone write in your favorite names, what we
For
should be
our
calling it.
viewership
For our
club.
viewership.
For
Like
our
DBL
club.
Nation, what are you guys?
Yeah.
But I think it should.
Add it to the Google Doc.
We're at the list.
He's never opened. Do you know how much time
People
Eric
spend a
and I
lot of time.
spent on that Google Doc that Jeff never opened?
I did open it.
Show
I
how
did
to work
open
the
it.
fingerprint.
I opened it
ID.
one time and then it's like homework.
Yeah.
Did
Check
you
the
not do
Google
well
Doc.
with homework?
Oh,
I can tell.
bad.
I can tell.
Anyways, what were you saying now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying. I was asking just to get the. You guys have a great following. Does Togetherness have a name? Because my podcast, my safe word is more. The last 4 letters is swim, so we call our people swimmers.
Love it.
Yes, and
Love
like
it.
it's we actually took pictures today in front of a pool to kind of reinforce that. Do you guys have
They do.
a Swifties
Yeah,
version?
you do. You're G-Joe fans.
Is that it? The G-Joe?
You didn't know
G-Joe.
G-Joe?
Jeff
They
and
call
Jordan.
the G-Joes.
Oh, G-Joes.
Yeah, they're the G-Joes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Tory Nation.
You have Tory Nation?
No,
So
I
you
don't.
call it
Someone
DBL
said I
Nation?
like Chat Nation.
Oh.
No. we're-
I don't
Okay,
like
well,
that.
I don't like
Don't
forced
poo-poo
nicknames.
it.
No
After-
forced nicknames.
After
Okay.
Dark Nation.
Well, keep it coming,
We'll
guys.
work
Keep
on
it
it.
coming.
We're
Okay.
gonna workshop it.
Okay.
Night Owls is the other one. That's
I kind of like that.
I love-
No, Sam. I do like night owls though.
Oh, we gotta wrap.
I do like that.
We gotta wrap, you guys. This was really
This
fun.
was so
I'm
much
so
fun.
happy.
Doesn't
Yes.
it fulfill your heart?
Yes, my
Doesn't
heart
it
is
fulfill
full.
yours?
Not my bank account.
Oy vey with
Well,
this
my
one.
heart is full. Is this where I say goodbye to Peter? Or do I go to
Yes,
that
the
camera?
it's minute 59. How would you not?
But we don't
have
know which
addressed that?
camera.
I don't know which.
The
The whole
one
time
right
I'm
in
looking
front
at
of us.
all
The one
three
he's
cameras.
oh, this one. This
Oh,
one.
I'm that one.
See?
Okay,
Okay.
so we will see you guys on Friday, same time, and then we'll see you guys live on Tuesday. We love you guys so much.
Thank
and
you.
continue to follow us. Love you guys.
Thank you guys so
Love
much.
you.
Thanks,
Say you
Al.
love him.
Yeah, you be nice.
Jeff,
God,
talk
such
about
a
your
dick.